Hello everybody, this is Evangelist Wampler coming to you from the Pampanga province of the Philippines. I wanted to tell you about something unusual that happened in one of the encounters this week as we've been ministering in a series of services. On one of the particular evenings, actually the first night of a conference, the power of God fell supernaturally, and it was absolutely wonderful and amazing. But before that ever happened, a lot of spiritual warfare took place. You see, as we prepared to go to the meeting, things just started to feel very oppressive in the spirit. As I was praying in prayer ahead of time, before going to the service, I was having encounters with the Lord. And then all of a sudden, I started to feel this heavy weight. I started to walk down to get into the van, and as I did, I started to feel very sick to my stomach. Then the air conditioning stopped working in the van, and if you've ever been to the Philippines, you'll know it's extremely hot here. In fact, the heat index was over 110 degrees. And then we started to crowd towards the service as we had many people in our vehicle. I made it inside and started to feel a heavy oppressive weight. I recognized that the enemy was up to something because he realized that something was about to break in the service. He didn't want me to make it to the service. We almost got into a car wreck on the way, actually a few times. And when we approached the church, there started to be much flooding all around us, to the point that we were barely making it through to access the church. I started to pray and intercede. I prayed in the Spirit a lot, and as I got to the church, I found out that multiple team members had gotten sick from the United States team that was here with us. Many of the intercessors had started to feel a burden, and I told the team, I said, I need 2 intercessors that are going to be willing to pray in the Spirit for at least 30 minutes and not be in the service, to just pray in the Spirit to war against all that's happening right now. I said, something unusual is taking place. As we went into the service, we could feel God's presence, but it seemed like you could cut through the room with a knife all that was there in opposition from the enemy. I could literally almost sense the demons crawling up the skin. I could almost see them with my eyes sneering at me saying, "You're not gonna preach about Jesus in this place." Obviously, as you know, that's not gonna work for me. And I realized I was gonna pray in the Spirit. I was gonna preach about Jesus, and the demons were going to release their grip. I was on the verge of vomiting and throwing up, and I started to feel a fever on my body, and I didn't want to deal with all that was around me, but I pressed forward because I knew that people were about to encounter Jesus. As I began to go up to preach, I wasn't able to minister the message I had come prepared to do. I called on one of our team members, Abby from San Francisco, to begin setting the tone for the night. And as she ministered, you could just feel the Spirit of God start to come. As she gave me back the mic, I went up there, and as I went to begin ministering, I actually couldn't get out the message I was trying to initially preach. In fact, I didn't really preach much at all that night. I started to pray in the Spirit and wait on the Lord. And then suddenly the Spirit of God swept in as I started to rebuke demons one by one, as I started to rebuke principalities one by one, as I started to rebuke oppression, witchcraft, demon possession. And in the service, you could almost feel it being cut through with a knife one by one. As each thing was rebuked in the Spirit, people would begin to fall out of their chairs, and you could hear piercing screams through the darkness. In the visuals that you'll sure to see on the screen behind me, you'll find a dark room, and you could see the light of the gospel just begin to light up the darkness that was there. You're gonna hear some audio in just a minute from the service, and I want you to just listen and allow the Lord to minister to you as He pierces the darkness in this room. But I also want to encourage you, no matter what situation you're in right now, as you listen to the audio of what happened that night and you see some of the visuals, I want you to believe that God can break through in your situation right now. No matter what depression you're facing, no matter what sickness you're facing, no matter what obstacle you're facing, Goliath is going to fall right now in Jesus' name. God bless you here from the Philippines. Have a listen and let the Lord minister to you right now. I tear down every stronghold right now in Jesus' name. Satan, I bind your power right now in Jesus' name. Legion, bind you now in Jesus' name. Out, 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 out. I bind you, spirit of witchcraft, out now in Jesus' name. I break every curse. Every curse right now is broken in Jesus' name. Every generational curse on your family tree is broken now. I stand against you as a servant of the Lord right now, with the angel armies of God right now. You will release your grip on every family in this room in Jesus' name. In Jesus' name, on the authority of the blood that was shed on the cross, release your hold now in Jesus' name. Sodre kasaba, oyabana shadre kaba, sodre kabana sato bakasa ayana, iazabada rekaba sondre kaba santo santo koshobayana.